Alright guys, as you know, the 2024 Harley Davidson Softail Street Bob has been released on their website. I'm going to tell you why you should not buy a new 2024 Harley Davidson Street Bob. Alright everybody, what is up? What is up? As always, thanks for stopping by to another video today. Today we are talking about the 2024 Harley Davidson Softail Street Bob. As you guys know, that bike has been released on the website for a couple weeks now. If you were able to catch my last video, you saw that we were talking about a little bit of the colors, some of the new colors for 24, what I liked, what I didn't like. Now we're talking about one piece that I noticed for the 2024 Street Bob that is leading me to tell you guys to not buy one in this model year. So of course, as you guys know, I have my 2022 Harley Davidson Softail Street Bob here in the red line red color. Absolutely love this bike ever since I've had it. I've had it for a little over a year now. So of course, like I said, anytime Harley does anything new with the Street Bob or changes it or any way it comes out the new model year, I'm always interested to take a look. I have a little bit of an invested interest in it, obviously, because I have one. And there's one big, huge, glaring reason that I'm gonna run through today as to why there's absolutely no reason to buy one of these bikes in this model year of 2024. And so before we get to that, let me know if any of you guys are out there in the market for a Street Bob this year, for the Softail Street Bob. If anybody was planning on getting this new model year, let me know if you were planning on it and what you think of the colors and what you think of the price, because as you probably already guessed it, the number one reason why I'm telling you not to buy a 2024 Harley Davidson Street Bob this year is because of the price. So the price of this bike now sits at $16,999. Of course, this bike hit the Softail platform in 2018. And of course, the price has kind of steadily risen year over year, which you can kind of expect. But the thing about that is there has not been a whole lot of significant change to this bike over that time frame from 2018 to now 2024. So of course there has been some minor little changes here and there. Of course we did have the 114 get put into the bike on the model year of 2021. And then in 2022 they went ahead and changed out the wheels from the spoke to the mag wheels that you see here on my 22 model year. So pretty significant jumps in price at this point in time that we are going to go over with this bike. And I'm going to give you a couple different reasons as to why that price, you just cannot justify getting it at that price when there's other options out there. So if you take a look, like I said, the Softail Street Bob came into that cruiser Softail platform in 2018 at a base price. These are all base prices that we're going to talk about here. Base price of $14,499. So I think at that point in time, you know, you had the 107. It's a stripped down basic cruiser model. I feel like that's a fairly reasonable price for that bike at that point in time. So the next model year, 2019, again, no real changes, just some colors. Bike jumps up to $14,549. So really just an increase of $50 there. Nothing too crazy. Again, we go into the model year 2020. The bike jumps another $50 to $14,599. So again, just a $50 increase. Nothing too crazy year over year on that jump. Then in 2021, that's when we start to get some bigger changes there. They went ahead and put the Milwaukee 8 114 in the bike. So the bike had that slight change. We went from the 107 up to the 114. You saw a $500 price increase, so the bike then sat at a base cost of $14,999. Still, I mean, if you think about that, you jump up the CCs, you put a little bit of bigger engine into it, $400 price increase, still pretty reasonable at that price point at $14,999. And then into the next model year of 2022, again, you get the 114 engine. That's when they changed out the wheels here. Like you see on mine, you've got the mag wheel. It went from spoke to mag. Had a little bit of a higher increase again in price, increasing by about $350 to $15,349. So then you start to see it creep up just a little bit. I think that's when a lot of inflation started to hit as well. You start to kind of question the price at that point for a stripped down bobber cruiser style motorcycle. But still, even at that price point of $15,349, still, you know, kind of not that bad. But when we get into last year's model, 2023, we saw a $1,250 price increase on the base price of the Softail Street Bob. And again, with no real changes to the bike at that point in time, we had a base cost of $16,599, which I think at that point the bike really started to creep into that territory of, is the value of that bike really there? Don't get me wrong, I love this bike, it's absolutely the bike for me. But when you kind of look at the value of the bike, like I said, it's a very stripped down, bobber style motorcycle, bobber cruiser, not a whole lot to it. Is the value really there at that cost? So then jumping ahead to this year, 2024, we now see the bike sits at a base cost of $16,999 for this motorcycle. So to me, in my opinion, where the bike started back in 2018, I think was a fairly reasonable price. A few simple changes to the engine, a few simple changes to the wheels, things like that. You're gonna expect the price to increase over time. But to me, at that price of $16,999, that's just insane to me how expensive that simple bobber cruiser Softail motorcycle from Harley has gotten at this point in time. So like I said, that is the #1 reason why I'm telling you guys that you do not need to buy a 2024 model year Harley Davidson Softail Street Bob. And so you say, you know, what if I really like that bike? What if I really want it? Guys, I'm telling you, the used market is flooded with these bikes out there. So go ahead and drop it down in the comments. Let me know if you were in the market for one of these this year. Are you gonna go the new route of the 2024 model year? Or would you be looking at the used market, whether used at a dealer, used at a private third-party seller? Because that's how I got this bike over a year and a half ago, and I got a really great deal on it at the time. I was really happy with the deal I got. I was not gonna pay MSRP or all the crazy fees and stuff that they add on these things at the dealership. I was super happy with the used deal I got on this bike. So that's really the way that I would recommend. If you guys are looking for a Street Bob this day and age, look for a 21, a 22, a 23 that's discounted way down. You could almost start to see, I'm gonna show you guys some examples. You could almost start to say that this bike is kind of the new Sportster. You see a lot of people riding these things for a year, putting 1,000, 2,000 miles on them, and then trading up into something bigger like a Bagger Road Glide, Street Glide, something like that, a touring model. A lot of people are even trading them in on lowrider STs. So you're really starting to see the Street Bob flood the used market. And I'm gonna show you guys some examples right now, just through some simple individual private sellers, simply on Facebook Marketplace, of some pretty good deals that you could find if you're looking for a Street Bob this year. I'm telling you, I could not justify buying this bike brand new at a dealership for 2024, because what you're gonna see with a base cost of $16,999, you're gonna get your tax, of course, you're gonna get your freight, your shipping, your dealer markup. These Street Bobs are gonna be close to $22,000 out the door for model year 2024. I can almost guarantee you that. I can almost guarantee that there are people that maybe paid for their 22 or 23 model years, maybe close to that, over 20K. And guys, like I said, I love the bike. It's 100% the bike for me. Would recommend it if you want it, but it's getting really hard to justify buying this bike at that new price. So let's take a look at some of the options out there. Again, these are just some of the ones that I found in my area, some of the previous model years, for some really great prices. So the first one we'll pull up is a used Fastback Blue model year 2022, $13,800, private seller. This thing has about 3,200 miles on it. I mean, look at the savings you're gonna have on almost a brand new motorcycle. So obviously, as we go through some of these, I know there'll be some people out there that say, you know, you have some of the risk of a used bike, you don't know where it's coming from, this and that. For me, in my purchase, I thought it was worth it. I checked the bike out, but like I said, if you're gonna go to a dealer for some of these 2024 models, expect to pay. Sometimes that risk of a used private sale is worth it. So let's take a look at the next one. So the next one we have for model year 2020 is that denim silver color. Really kind of like that. Coming in at $11,900. This one had about 3,000 miles on it from what I saw. Again, another really good option. Keep in mind too, you're gonna see some of these bikes on the used market. You might already have some of the modifications on them that you were gonna do yourself anyway. So you're gonna save yourself a little bit of money that way as well. Next up, you have a red line red like mine here, a 2022 for $12,000 listed by a private seller. The mileage on this one was 1,000. So whoever's picking that one up off of Facebook Marketplace is getting an even better deal than what I got on mine about a year ago. So like I said, the deals are out there. The prices are starting to drop on these things, whether you go private or to the dealer. And then finally, we've got another 2020 here with that River Rock gray color, another nice one. You got some short shots on there. You have a Memphis Shades fairing for $11,300. I think this one had about 5,000 miles on it. So really, I mean, 5,000 miles and under, you're getting almost a brand new bike. You might have some modifications on it. It might be a clean slate to put whatever you want on it. I'm just saying out there that the model year 2024 Street Bob is going to be very hard to justify buying that brand new. Like I said, you've got some of these deals out there that you might have to work a little bit, you might have to negotiate a little bit, whether it's with a private seller or some of these even independent reselling motorcycle dealers out there have some good deals. I've started to see the Lowrider S drop in price a little bit to some reasonable prices. In my opinion, it's just getting really, really hard to justify buying a brand new Harley Davidson Street Bob. I will say some of the other prices seem to have kind of leveled out for the 24 model year. The Lowrider S doesn't seem to have jumped too much, but the Nightster, they've even dropped the price on that. So for some reason, it just seems to be the Street Bob that continually climbs in price for what seems to be no reason with no real changes to the bike. Could this be a phasing out of the Harley Davidson Street Bob where we're just pricing it so high, they're going to stop production, they're going to stop selling it, they're not expecting to sell it? Who knows? If you have any insight into why they might be continually climbing the price of this bike up there so much, feel free to drop it down in the comments and let us know. All right, guys, so to recap it, like I said, in my opinion, I just don't see any reason to buy a brand new 2024 Harley Davidson Softail Street Bob because of the price. Like I said earlier, if you plan on it or if you were in the market for a new Street Bob this year, drop it down in the comments and let me know what you think after watching this video. Do you think you would pull the trigger? Will you try to go the used route and try to get a better deal with maybe some modifications and stuff already on there? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Is the bike priced right? Is it priced appropriately? It feels like it's just way too high for what it is to me. Like I said, a basic, simple, stripped down bobber cruiser that I absolutely love. It's my style, it's what I like, but the value of it just does not seem to be there anymore for Harley Davidson in the model year 24 with the price coming in at $16,999. So I think that will go ahead and wrap it up for now. As always, make sure you go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you ride safe out there, guys. Make it a good one. It's the logo. See you all down the road. Peace.